Bitcoin 13, what eating? First WWA, $13.11 October 28 WWA, $198.88 change, plus 1,417%. Milestones. February, Reddit and Mega begin accepting Bitcoin. March/April, buy in rush associated in media with Cyprus bail-in. May, GYFT gift card purchasing through BitPay announced. BitPremier luxury goods market launched. September, BitPay announces it has 10,000 merchant customers, up 10x YoY. October, Silk Road market taken down. Short sharp downward exchange rate movement followed by month-long rally, up 60% from pre-announcement level, accompanied by media wave in China. First Bitcoin ATMs shipping and being installed for commercial use. Characterization. Medium of exchange use expanding, building on previous 2 years. Year 5 saw cycles of media attention, dramatic price movements, and countless business start UPS and expansions worldwide, generally aiming to make using Bitcoin easier for wider sources of consumers and merchants. Multiple Bitcoin investment funds and angel funds set up. Increasingly frequent conferences held worldwide. A steady stream of news items continue to indicate widening options for buying and selling goods and services with Bitcoin. Appendix B, 5-year price formation chart. The following chart reflects the entire history of Bitcoin price formation in one image. Visualizing this data together requires a logarithmic scale so that the smaller figures do not vanish into the baseline. In keeping with the long-term perspective, typical weekly, or when available, weekly weighted average, figures are used. This helps filter out noise from the extremely short-term peaks and troughs of mania/panics that are so beloved for use in pop media lead-ins. The flat zero blue line from January to the start of October 2009 is to be understood as no price of any kind, even though the logarithmic scale does not allow for a true zero line, seen here as $0.0001. A second version of this chart on the following page clarifies the association of the different data lines with calendar years. 39 The slope lines from the start to the end of each calendar year, or best available data point, show how the data lines combine to suggest an overall historical trend. The chart combines different sources of data for different time periods. Working backwards, the line BSTP13 is the weekly weighted average chart for the Bitstamp exchange in 2013. I abandoned MTGOX exchange data as they became clear outliers during 2013. GOX 10, GOX 12 are the weekly weighted average data lines for the entire history of MTGOX from its 5 cents opening trade through 2012. NSL 09, NSL 10 refer to the Bitcoin offer prices published at New Liberty Standard 40 in late 2009 and early 2010. The NLS site also includes prices from Bitcoin Market, reflected in line BTMK. Direct links to Bitcoin Market data no longer appear to be accessible. NLS offered to sell Bitcoin in minimum blocks of value equal to 1 gram of gold at the time, in particular, Pecunix units. NLS's ask rates were described as the average of the adjusted Bitcoin production per day divided by the average production costs per day 41. I am not sure of the extent to which buyers took up NLS on these offered prices or the extent to which prices listed for Bitcoin Market actually reflected concrete trades or in what volumes. As cost of production estimates, the historical NLS figures do not necessarily constitute market prices per SE, as it is unclear what trades were actually conducted. Nevertheless, to the extent that Bitcoin was purchased at or near these ask prices, this provides one source of systematic data for this early phase. This published cost of production data also helped set the context for the beginning of subsequent price formation developments. A recent anecdotal news item has it that Christopher Hook bought 5,000 bitcoins for 150 Norwegian krona in 2009. 42 I assume it was likely quite late if it was in 2009, and in December 2009, this was the equivalent of $26. The price paid therefore equated to $0.0052 per bitcoin. More details of any such anecdotal actual trades could supplement our knowledge of this early period, and actual dates would be helpful for such data. For reference, the May 2010 Bitcoin Pizza transaction reflected a Bitcoin valuation of $0.0025, below the price on Bitcoin Market around that time of about $0.0045 and also below the NLS price of about $0.0055. In sum, a quarter cent to a half cent was the price range at the time. The NOEXV line stands for no exchange value. This represents a period of at least 9 months for which no evidence is visible of any pattern of Bitcoin units being bought and sold, let alone used as a medium of exchange. Nevertheless, during 2009, the Bitcoin network was being operated as an experiment. Miners were mining coins, and those who suspected that the experiment might someday succeed were keeping them. Developers were refining the software, and some experimental transactions and later in the year some Bitcoin for cash transactions were being sent, priced in fractions of cents. In 2009, 2010, Bitcoins were used as objects within the means/end structures of human actors, without those actions entailing the use of Bitcoin to facilitate indirect exchanges. This was the phase during which Bitcoin units were being discovered as novel objects of action, making them goods in the barest sense hopeful collectibles, 2009, or exceptionally high-risk digital investment goods that very few people saw any potential in, 2010. They began to function discernibly as a medium of exchange only in 2011. References. Graph, Conrad S. February 27, 2013. Bitcoins, The Regression Theorem, and That Curious but Unthreatening Empirical World. ConradsGraph.com. Audio version released June 30, 2013 at youtube.com/watch?b=AKLTQDKTRR4. March 19, 2013. The Sound of One Bitcoin, Tangibility, Scarcity, and Hard Money Checklist. ConradsGraph.com. July 22, 2013. Bitcoin, Price Denomination and Fixed Rate Fiat Conversions. ConradsGraph.com. July 25, 2013. Tiger Cub Growing Up. Bitcoin Weekly Average Closing Prices Year Over Year. ConradsGraph.com. September 14, 2013. Bitcoin as medium of exchange now and unit of account later. The inverse of Koning's medieval coins. ConradsGraph.com. September 15, 2013. The Labor, Leisure, and Happiness Game, Psychology, Praxeology, and Ethics. ConradsGraph.com. Halsman, Jörg Guida. 2003 From Value Theory to Praxeology, Introduction to the Third Edition of Epistemological Problems of Economics by Ludwig von Mises. Auburn, Alabama, Mises Institute. 2007 Mises, The Last Night of Liberalism. Auburn, Alabama, Mises Institute. Mises.org/document/3295/Mises-the-last-night-of-liberalism. 2008 Deflation and Liberty. Auburn, Alabama, Mises Institute. NakamotoInstitute.org/literature/deflation-liberty. 2008A The Ethics of Money Production. Auburn, Alabama, Mises Institute. Mises.org/document/3747/the-ethics-of-money-production. Knapp, George Friedrich. 1895 Staatlich Theorie des Gelds, The State Theory of Money, München U. Leipzig, Dunker and Humblot. 3rd edition 1921. English translation 1924. London, Macmillan and Company. http://soc.mcmaster.ca/tilde-econ/ugcm/3ll3/nap/state theory money.pdf. Croyes, Daniel. July 2, 2013. The original value of Bitcoins Nakamoto Institute.org. Menger, Carl. 2009 1892. On the Origins of Money. Auburn, Alabama, Ludwig von Mises Institute. Translation by C. A. Foley. Mises, Ludwig von. 1912 Theorie de Geld und die Umlaufsmittel. München und Leipzig, Verlag von Dunker and Humblot. Mises.org/document/3298. 1953-1912. The Theory of Money and Credit. New Haven, Yale University Press. Reprinted and online, nakamotoinstitute.org/literature/theory-money-credit. 1998-1949. Human Action, a Treatise on Economics. The Scholars Edition. Auburn, Alabama, Mises Institute. Mises.org/document/3250. 2006-1962. The Ultimate Foundation of Economic Science, an Essay on Method. Indianapolis in, Liberty Fund. Mises.org/book/UFOs. 2007-1957. Theory and History, an Interpretation of Social and Economic Evolution. Auburn, Alabama, Mises Institute. Nakamoto, Satoshi. 2008 Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. White paper. Ridley, Matt 2010. The Rational Optimist, How Prosperity Evolves. New York, Harper. ESP Chap 2. Rothbard, Murray N. 2004 1962, 1970. Man, Economy, and State, with Power and Market. The Scholars Edition. Auburn, Alabama, Mises Institute. Mises.org/rothbard/mes.asp. Herta, Peter. 2012 Economics of Bitcoin, is Bitcoin an alternative to fiat currencies and gold? Thesis for the Vienna University of Economics and Business. nakamotoinstitute.org/literature/economics-of-Bitcoin. September 22, 2013. Professor Walter Block is clueless about Bitcoin. Economics-of-Bitcoin.com. Sabo, Nick. 2002 Shelling Out, The Origins of Money. nakamotoinstitute.org. Tucker, Jeffrey A. and Stephen Kinsella. August 25, 2010. Goods, Scarce and Non-Scarce. Mises Daily. Wenzel, Robert. October 7, 2013. Is Bitcoin money? What economists have to say. economicpolicyjournal.com. Wilbur, Ken. 1998 The Marriage of Sense and Soul, Integrating Science and Religion. New York, Broadway Books. About the author. Conrad S. Graf is the formulator of the action-based jurisprudence framework, which argues for new and more explicit applications of the action theory principles of Mises and Hoppe within an integral approach to the foundations of legal philosophy. He has written numerous works on Bitcoin and monetary theory. He has worked as a professional translator since 1998, translating Japanese to English primarily in the field of investment research. German is his third language. He has lived in the US, India, Japan, and Germany. ConradsGraph.com. At ConradsGraph. Notes. 1. One quick study of the regression theorem can be accessed in Murray and Rothbard 2004 1962, 1970. Man, Economy, and State, with Power and Market. The Scholars Edition. Auburn, Alabama, Mises Institute. Mises.org/rothbard/mes.asp. 268, 276. 2. This is an application of the strict division between the proper realms of universal theory and specific case interpretation. See in particular Ludwig von Mises. 2007-1957. Theory and History, an Interpretation of Social and Economic Evolution. Auburn, Alabama, Mises Institute. 3. For a concise history of major monetary developments, refer to your Guido Hulsmann. 2008 The Ethics of Money Production. Auburn, Alabama, Mises Institute. Mises.org/document/3747/the-ethics-of-money-production. I also highly recommend this work in its entirety. 4. For a discussion of these points, see my July 22, 2013. Bitcoin, price denomination and fixed rate fiat conversions. ConradsGraph.com. Hulsmann also points out in 2008a that, historically, the establishment of monopoly bullion has been an important step in the consolidation and centralization of national monetary systems under government control. The outlawing of silver paved the way to an inflation of fractional reserve certificates backed by gold. 117. 5. Carl Menger. 2009 1892. On the Origins of Money. Auburn, Alabama, Ludwig von Mises Institute. Translation by C. A. Foley. 6. Daniel Croyes. July 2, 2013. The Original Value of Bitcoins. nakamotoinstitute.org. Peter Herta, 2012. Economics of Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin an alternative to fiat currencies and gold? Thesis for the Vienna University of Economics and Business, and most recently, September 22, 2013. Professor Walter Block is clueless about Bitcoin. economics-of-bitcoin.com. 7. Robert Wenzel. October 7, 2013. Is Bitcoin money? What economists have to say. economicpolicyjournal.com. 8. I go into this in some detail in my September 14, 2013. Bitcoin as medium of exchange now and unit of account later. The inverse of Koning's medieval coins. ConradsGraph.com. 9. February 27, 2013. Bitcoins, the regression theorem, and that curious but unthreatening empirical world. ConradsGraph.com. March 19, 2013. The sound of one Bitcoin, tangibility, scarcity, and hard money checklist. ConradsGraph.com. 10. For more theoretical background on these concepts, refer to Stephen Kinsella. 2001 Against Intellectual Property. Journal of Libertarian Studies 15, 21, 53 Mises.org/document/3582, and Jeffrey A. Tucker and Stephen Kinsella. August 25, 2010. Goods, Scarce and Non-Scarce. Mises Daily. 1. I developed this definition of non-rivalrous goods and examined various distinct senses of the word scarcity in my March 19 article. Herta points out that IP addresses and DNS names should also be considered earlier examples of scarce digital goods. Even though they are only digital strings, in context, simultaneous use attempts are incompatible, making them rivalrous. 1-2. A prime example of such content is how to assess the relative theoretical security characteristics of the various elliptic curve digital signature algorithm, EXA, curves. Such highly technical issues cannot be addressed with vague armchair musings, but must be addressed on the basis of suitable knowledge of the appropriate fields of specialized knowledge and risk assessment. It may be important, for example, that Bitcoin uses the less common SEPC 256K1 curve for its key pairs, as opposed to the much more commonly used SEPC 256R1 curve. In general, see Nick Sullivan. October 24, 2013. A. Relatively easy to understand, primer on elliptic curve cryptography. Ars Technica. In particular, see Vitalik Buterin. October 28, 2013. Satoshi's Genius, Unexpected Ways in which Bitcoin Dodged Some Cryptographic Bullets. Bitcoin Magazine. 1.3. Saying that a particular fiat currency is strong is a euphemism. All fiat currencies steadily lose value. A strong fiat currency refers to one that is losing its value relatively less quickly when compared with others. 1.4. Most of the accessible gold on Earth is already understood to have come from meteorite falls on the surface. Original Earth gold most likely sunk deep into the molten core based on its relative density very early in the planet's geological development. 1.5. Ludwig von Mises. 1998-1949. Human Action, a Treatise on Economics. The Scholars Edition. Auburn, Alabama, Mises Institute. Mises.org/document/3250. 1.6. Section 7 below develops action situation example to clarify what is required to avoid such logical circularity and why. 1.7. The state theory of money by G.F. Knapp appeared in German in 1895 and the modern-day cartelists carry forward elements of this tradition. 1.8. Rothbard uses a hypothetical to contrast a situation in which relative money prices exist and one in which they suddenly cease to be available, since the marginal utility of the money commodity depends on previously existing money prices. A wiping out of existing markets and knowledge of money prices would render impossible the establishment of a money economy. The economy would be wrecked and thrown back into a highly primitive state of barter, after which a money economy could only slowly be re-established as it had been before. 2004, 271, 272. 1.9. Noticeable price gaps remain among the major Bitcoin exchanges, with MTGOX being the largest outlier due to its particular challenges in transferring US dollars to customers located in the US. Movement of Bitcoin itself is simple and efficient on a global basis, but effective inter-exchange arbitrage is still rather limited due to the non-Bitcoin sides of these exchanges. This is the higher difficulty, cost, and time frames required to transfer fiat currencies within the conventional international banking system. To help address this, both BitPay and CoinDesk have developed Bitcoin reference prices constructed in somewhat different ways. These combine real-time data from several of the top exchanges. BitPay assembles a consolidated order book from several exchanges, while CoinDesk constructs on index. Both currently exclude the price outlier MTGOX. 2.0. Refer in this context also to my September 14, 2013 article. 2.1. Matt Ridley, in one section of The Rational Optimist, How Prosperity Evolves, 2010, details the several centuries-long technological and know-how decline on the island of Tasmania after the small population was cut off from a formerly wider network of trade. 2.2. This also implies that once the general idea of indirect exchange first becomes familiar in a society, new possibilities for the with what question can be recognized more quickly than if the general idea of indirect exchange is entirely unfamiliar, as in a truly barter-only context. 2.3. Murray Rothbard noted this point, for example, in his discussion of the regression theorem, 2004, 275. 2.4. Matt Ridley 2010, Chapter 2, develops such evidence in the context of making the much larger case that trading one thing for a different thing at the same time as opposed to the kind of time-delayed reciprocity of favors also found in other species may be the key unique defining characteristic that appeared for the first time with Homo sapiens sapiens, not with closest known cousins such as Homo heidelbergensis and Homo neanderthalensis, and which made compounding specialization and knowledge accumulation possible. 2.5. Nick Szabo. 2002 Shelling Out, The Origins of Money NakamotoInstitute.org. 2.6. They only exist as specified relationships among several distinct categories of cryptographic data. On the subject of proto-monetary collectibles, it is interesting to note that while MTGOX switched to being a Bitcoin exchange in 2010, it had been founded in 2009 as an exchange for virtual trading cards used in the Magic, the Gathering online game, thus its acronymic name. This is modern-day collectibles-oriented company DNA if there ever was any. 2.7. Those familiar with the integral all-quadrant model advanced by the American philosopher Ken Wilber may recognize its partial application in this and the previous section. On one axis, the epistemological dualist division between interior, meaning, and exterior, matter, is represented in the division between the economic, action-based in the Mieschian sense, and the technical. The other axis, the duality of unit and system perspectives, is then represented in the current section. For a relatively approachable overview of the integral all-quadrant model and related concepts in a wider context, see Wilber 1998. 2.8. Although private keys can also be physically transferred offline using physical tokens and cards, the security and reliability of such procedures remains highly experimental. 2.9. September 22, 2013. Professor Walter Block is clueless about Bitcoin economics of Bitcoin.com. 3.0. See my September 15, 2013, The Labor, Leisure, and Happiness Game, Psychology, Praxeology, and Ethics ConradsGraph.com. 3.1. See Appendix B for a 5-year, all-time price chart. 3.2. In Block 57,035. 3.3. See Appendix A for a monetary historical interpretation of patterns of news events by year. 3.4. Bitcoin is often criticized for its wide price movements. This is mostly an artifact of it still being young and small in scale, making it susceptible to ups and downs of the media awareness cycle. That said, the first dramatic movement up and down in 2011 can also be causally traced to the government's ongoing imposition of prohibition policies. Without them, the surge in demand from would-be participants in the then new Silk Road online prohibition resistance market would have been much more modest in comparison to the movements of ordinary markets not beset by the ever-strange and dangerous results of prohibition policies. This most likely accounts for the unique year-over-year mountain price effect seen in 2011 in YOY terms. See my July 25, 2013, Tiger Cub Growing Up. Bitcoin weekly average closing prices year-over-year, ConradsGraph.com. 3.5. A few isolated cases cannot be ruled out, but no pattern of such use is visible in the historical record, a situation that unmistakably changes in 2011 and onward. 3.6. This was quite rare, however. A casual scan through the 2009 blockchain reveals a great number of blocks that contain nothing but a generation transaction. 3.7. In reference to the iconic 1997 Apple